Today, let's talk about the Circle of the Blighted Druid from the Tal'Dorei Reborn Critical Role book, today on Flutes. I do have an article of all the Tal'Dorei subclasses that I've reviewed and analyzed if you want to go to the link in the description to find that and follow along, or read that at your leisure. The Circle of the Blighted Druid is interesting in that it's about blighted, defiled land instead of preserving the sanctity of some grove or whatever druids tend to do. At level 2, it gets the ability Defile Ground. As a bonus action, you corrupt a patch of land or an area of water in a 10-foot radius centered on a point within 60 feet of you. This corruption lasts for 1 minute. The corrupted area is difficult terrain for creatures that are hostile to you. Additionally, when a creature in the area takes damage from an attack or spell for the first time on a turn, it takes an extra 1d4 necrotic damage. You can move this patch of corruption up to 30 feet as a bonus action. Flying creatures are unaffected by the corruption. At 10th level, the area becomes a 20-foot radius. The damage of the defiled ground becomes 1d6 at level 10 and 1d8 at level 14. You can summon the defiled ground once per short rest. So this is interesting because it's a bonus action, so it's pretty easy to set up, especially for a druid. Difficult terrain to keep enemies slowed down. But interestingly, the damage that it causes, like you take extra damage while you're in the defiled ground, that part actually has friendly fire. It doesn't say that it's for hostile creatures only. I don't know if this was the intent, because this seems like the kind of feature where it would only make them take extra damage from attacks and spells if they're enemies, but as it's written, they take the extra damage. That is extra strange because the difficult terrain is not an effect on allies, it only affects hostile creatures. So I don't know what the intent was, but that is the way it is written, and I've run that by a few other people who agree that that seems to be the way it is written. Also at level 2, you get Blighted Shape. Basically, you turn into a Chernobyl gremlin as your form begins to show effects of the corruption you wield, tracing blackened veins across your skin, producing gnarled, bony protrusions or other eerie phenomenon, making you proficient in intimidation, and when you wild shape, you get +2 to AC because you get gnarled, weeping wounds and spines protruding from your body. The beast form also gains dark vision with a radius of 60 feet, or an additional 60 feet of dark vision if it already has that sense. So that's nice, intimidation and creepy wild shape form with +2 AC, not bad, and dark vision enhanced. Alright, let's start getting into the real fun of this subclass. Level 6, Call of the Shadowseeds. When a creature that is not undead or a construct takes damage within the area of your Defile Ground feature, the one you got at level 2, you can use your reaction to summon a Blighted Sapling in an unoccupied space within 5 feet of the creature. You can direct the sapling to make an attack against any creature within 5 feet of it as a part of this reaction. The sapling then acts on your initiative, obeying your verbal commands. The Blighted Sapling remains in your service until it's reduced to 0 hit points, until the end of your next long rest, or until you summon another sapling, at which point it crumbles into foul-smelling mulch. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, regaining expended uses with a long rest. It also gives you sapling statistics for your little buddy. Essentially 10 plus your proficiency bonus, it scales with natural armor, its hit points are scaling as twice your druid level, vulnerable to fire, resistant to necrotic and poison, and has a bunch of immunities to conditions blinded, deafened, and poisoned. It also has blind sense to 60 feet, so if you have some kind of cloud effect you want to use, it can still see. It doesn't have a challenge rating, so it counts as that for something coming up a little later. It gets multi-attack at level 14, so it'll be making 2 claw attacks at that level, and attacks deal damage of 2d4 plus proficiency bonus piercing damage. Alright, so these little saplings are going to become more fun at level 10 when we get Foul Conjuration. Any beast, fey, or plant, including your Blighted Sapling, summoned or created by your spells or class features, gains the following traits. Blighted Resistance. The creature has immunity to necrotic and poison damage, and to the poisoned condition. So it's nice to gain some immunities. That's always a nice thing to see. And those summons also get Toxic Demise. When the creature is reduced to 0 hit points, which does not include like just being unsummoned, just when they are reduced to 0 hit points from damage, it explodes in a burst of toxic mulch or fetid viscera. Each creature within 5 feet of the exploding creature must succeed on a con save or take necrotic damage based on the creature's challenge rating, which it provides a table for. As an action, you can cause a summoned creature to explode, but only one of them at a time. You just immediately kill it and it explodes as an action. Challenge rating 1/4 or lower deals a d4, CR half deals a d6, CR 1 or higher deals a d8 per challenge rating. So if it's a challenge rating 2, it does 2d8. If it's a challenge rating 3, 3d8. If it has no challenge rating, it deals a number of d6s of necrotic damage equal to your proficiency bonus. So when your saplings are destroyed or you blow them up as an action, it will deal at this level, level 10, 4d6 necrotic damage. It might also deal 0 damage though, because the Toxic Demise does not say that enemies take half damage if they make the con save against the exploding summons. So really cool idea. I don't know how useful it'll actually be in practice, but this This is something I'd like to try. Lastly, at level 14, your physical form begins to take on the tainted traits of the land you are bonded to. Your skin grows ashen, and your eyes darken. Well, we already had these kind of effects, so I guess it just gets worse. We also get spines and jagged spurs from our body, so we get resistance to necrotic damage, nice, and +2 AC, just all the time. Great. So it's not just our little gremlin wild shape form, it's ourselves all the time. Though this ability will still help your wild shape form, so I think that means you would have a +4 to AC at this point in your wild shape form. Additionally, whenever you start your turn within the radius of the corruption created by your Defile ground feature, you can use a bonus action to gain temporary hit points equal to proficiency bonus. So this is where I really wonder about the Defile ground feature, how it causes any creature within it to take more damage when it takes damage from attacks and spells. Because if you yourself are in that zone, you seem incentivized to be there because now you can gain temporary hit points by being there. But if you also take extra damage there, it kind of defeats the purpose. So it really makes me wonder what the intent was for Defile Ground's damage boosting. So how does this subclass interact with a spell like Conjure Animals with the Defile Ground feature where creatures take more damage and eventually summons can explode and everything? If each creature from Conjure Animals gets its own turn, then they gain a lot of damage. Your DPR goes way up with your Defile Ground. So Conjure Animals, action, bonus action, Defile Ground, and you can deal a lot of damage round to round with all your summons if they can stay in that area and just wail on the creature that's stuck in that Defile Ground area. However, Conjure Animals says that the beasts are treated as a group and they all act on a single turn together. So if they don't get a turn, then the Defile Ground damage boost can't really be abused. So that's a question for your DM, and you want to be upfront about you wondering about this combination specifically. If you can surround enemies with your summons, then Toxic Demise will really punish them because they feel like they have to slash through all of your summons to get to you, but they're going to explode for doing it at higher levels. That's pretty cool. I wish this subclass design had done something else fun, like added Cloud Kill to the spell list, so the saplings with their blind sight could take advantage of that and their eventual immunity to poison damage. I think that would have been a nice touch. I give this subclass a rating 3 out of 5 because I think it's got some innovative ideas that seem fun, but when I really look at them, I don't know if they're fun enough to not play a different kind of druid. Let me know what you think of it. Is there something about this subclass that I'm missing? Have you played one before and you enjoyed it or didn't enjoy it? Let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to defile that like button down below and check out my playlists for other Tal'Dorei subclasses that I've analyzed and reviewed. I hope you have a good adventure this weekend, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.